Good evening and welcome everyone. So we'll start with today's session. Today we are going to talk about Vedic mythology in context with India 2020. So on one side we have Vedic mythology particularly and how we can see the motives associated with Vedic mythology in India, a particular region in context with the time of the year 2020. Now, I have used, if you can see on the right hand side, I have used the image of Rudra and it has been created. It is very famous among the different classes of society as image of Shiva. Actually, it was meant to be Rudra's image. And it was created by Anirudh Sainath, who used to create these paintings under the brand of Molly Arts. Before starting the session itself, I would like to pay my respect to Anirudh Sainath. Uh, Today morning itself, I got to know that he is no more among us. Uh, it is a great loss for the field of mythology because Anirudh had worked intensely for Vedic mythology. Of course, he had created many paintings based on epics and Puranic mythology also. But Vedic mythology needed that kind of representation in terms of arts. Uh, Many people liked those artworks. Many people liked the way Anirudh used to use those references, used to follow the particular references and use it for his artistic representations. At the same time, many people even criticized his work, and uh, I don't know, maybe because of that, slow by slow, he went away from mythological representations. Um, Still, it is very shocking, and I yet don't know all the details. It is only through social media that we got to know that Anirudh is no more among us. So may his soul rest in peace, and may God give strength to his relatives to go through this difficult time. His work, for sure, uh, will remain as guidance or a standard for people who are going to work ahead in the same field for the representations of these characters. So, moving ahead, yes, this is a image of Anirudh Sainath. He was a very young person. It was too early that he has left us. Uh, it is indeed, as I have mentioned, very difficult for me to conduct today's session because uh, the most of our discussions used to be based on Vedic mythology itself. So let us pay our respect to Anirudh. Hope he is at a better place and he will always be missed and remembered. So, Vedic mythology. What is Vedic mythology? So, generally, Indian mythology is divided into two or three different types. When we say two types, it is Vedic mythology and Puranic mythology. And Puranic mythology, when we consider two types, then Puranic mythology itself is considered to be containing epic mythology among within itself. And when we say we can divide Indian mythology in three parts, it is Vedic mythology, Puranic mythology, and epics. So epics, of course, Ramayana and Mahabharata. So Vedic mythology is the mythology derived from Vedic literature. What is Vedic literature? Vedic literature is Sanhita, Aranyaka, Upanishad, and Brahmanas. Yes, Sanhita, Brahmanas, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So the stories derived from this literature is called as Vedic mythology. Vedic mythology is considered as more close to the classical definition of mythology because classically mythology is considered as stories of gods. So Vedic mythology is about all about the stories of gods. It is not the story of humans as we see in epics. Secondly, uh, Vedic mythology, since it is derived from Vedic literature, it is considered as divine. An individual person cannot claim the authority of writing or composing these hymns or these stories. So that is also one of the classical consideration behind the term mythology, that we cannot find an individual who can claim the authority of writing this story. So that is something, these two classical features of mythology we see in Vedic mythology itself. Now, if you talk about Vedic mythology, then the poster boy of Vedic mythology would be Indra. Indra is the supermost hero or the Indian, classical Indian hero we can see in Vedic mythology. Now, we are going to see the motifs or some of the things that made us think about Vedic mythology in terms of India in 2020. Many people, when we conduct these sessions, many of our sessions are based on understanding the concepts within mythology, but many people also ask me to organize the sessions which will talk about today's relevance. ओके, वैदिक मिथोलॉजी ठीक है, बहुत पुरानी कहानियां हैं. These are the ancient stories, pura katha as we say in Indian terms. But what is its relevance today? Is it relevant today or not? Are those motifs are relevant today, necessary today? So these are the things we are going to discuss in today's session. Now, as we saw in Vedic mythology, the poster boy would be Indra, and for India 2022, guess who would be the poster boy? Of course, India 2022, we cannot actually discuss without Narendra Modi. But of course, we are not going to compare him with Indra. It is just he is just the poster boy for India, and that is specifically in 2020. Now, before going into 2020, what happened exactly in 2020, let us understand some of the things which happened in the end of 2019, because it has influenced some of the changes which took us into the year of 2020. Now, in 2019, Time selected its person of the year. Any guesses who it was? Right, Greta Thunberg. And this beautiful image was captured on 4th December 2019. So it was almost the end of 2019. And as you remember, Greta Thunberg created this huge impact. Yeah, that was called as Greta impact, Greta effect. Different terms were introduced to spread the awareness about nature, to spread awareness of climate. People started talking about Earth, the primary deity within Rigved. The impact reached to different countries within the world. These are some of the images from India. So Greta called for the school strikes. So children should participate in strike because it is their right to have a good nature, to have good climate for their future. So that was introduced by Greta, and that was executed in India also. And this is exactly one of the major deities within Rigved. And is it relevant? Yes, definitely it is relevant. So we might have started talking about Prithvi after a long time. We have started to pay attention if some of the things which we are executing are those necessary or not. But definitely we are coming back within that circle to this Vedic deity, that is Prithvi. Now, along with Prithvi, there is a counterpart Do you remember this cartoon? This cartoon was introduced in 2017 after India's successful Mars mission. Yes, 2017. This is from 2019. So there is one success story, there is one story of failure also. That is okay. But isn't it interesting that all the countries are always engaged in their space expeditions along with the strength or influence on earth? Everybody wants to create, all the countries want to create their influence in sky also. This uh, these areas have always been the issues of curiosity since ancient time. What lies within ocean and what lies within sky? So there is ocean around earth. Look at this term, ocean around earth. So this can be interpreted in both the ways. The ocean that we understand as we see on earth, that is one. And second, sky itself represents a kind of an ocean. Okay, and there are many gems within this ocean or within sky which we have always tried to explore. And there is this competition within the countries. More explorations you do, more successful, more powerful that country will be. And that takes us to our second major deity within Rigved, that is Dayus. So Darius etymologically goes more close to Zeus. And these explorations. So in 2020, many countries could not engage themselves within these space expeditions because of COVID conditions, because of increased internal expenses, financial burdens, and so on. But many countries still continued with their expeditions. For example, US, the Expedition 63 is one of the famous expeditions within the year 2020. There, the commanders were from US and engineers some of the engineers were from Russia. So that was like a joint project. Even just few days back, there was one expedition from China also. So that is a continued process. So till now, we have seen that we are coming back to some of the important deities within Rigved, knowingly or unknowingly. We might not have known it even before, but Prithvi and Dhyayus. Moving ahead next, Ushas. The most beautiful deity within Rigved is Ushas, early morning, dawn. She is being praised as being forever young because she is born every day. Some places she is mother of sun, some places she is sister of sun, and some places she is wife of sun, Surya Devata. So there are these various different beautiful references associated with Ushas. The question remains if we are missing out this deity today because Dhyayus and Prithvi, yes, we are still following those deities, but Ushas somewhere we are missing out this deity because many of us have lost track of that Vedic civilization or Indian way of life where people are supposed to wake up at Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is roughly between 3:30 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. That is a perfect time to wake up, to start with your day, to start with new activities, and so on. It has physical as well as psychological effects. So there are many research studies done by various scholars, even from medical field, to show what positive effects one can achieve on the body. It even impacts our hormonal enzymatic secretions within the body if we wake up within that time period. So waking up early is a good thing, and of course many scholars now, like even Robin Sharma has published a book saying that one should wake up early morning. So that is, uh, not just Robin Sharma, but I think even Warren Buffett has mentioned some of these things. But these things were already mentioned in Vedic literature, and they were part of our lifestyle. And that's why in Rigved it is mentioned that uh, Ushas promotes the good people in morning to wake up and start their activities. So if you are a good person, then you will be promoted by Ushas to wake up early in the morning. Okay, so just the way we say if you have been a good boy or good girl, then you will get a gift from Santa. So similarly, if you have been a good person, then Ushas will promote you to wake up early in the morning and to conduct your activities. If you are not a good person, then she won't promote you. Similarly, they have mentioned that sages, the great sages, wake Ushas up. So Usha is responsible for many of good people. All the good people wake up, but even Usha is being promoted, or she is being woken up by the great sages. So this is some of the this is one of the deity that we are missing out in today's life, and slow by slow, let it be because of health purpose or because of these great scholars or management gurus, they are bringing in this concept that we should wake up early in the morning. And once we wake up early in the morning, and if we start experiencing the beauty of that time around us, then again we will start getting connected with the Vedic deity Ushas. Now, there was one incident that happened on 20th May 2020, and there was another on 2nd and 4th June 2020. So, 20th May, there was Amphan uh, cyclone, and 2nd and 4th June, there was Nisarga cyclone. So, these two cyclones, huge cyclones, were experienced in India in year 2020, and I definitely remember the impact of Nisarga cyclone because I was in the coastal region of Konkan during that time period, and the entire atmosphere was something to be experienced about, and that is something uh, we can correlate with Vedic literature, and that is the beauty of Vedic mythology, that we can experience all these things around us as part of the nature itself. So, which are the deities, which are the characters we can see associated with these cyclones? Varun, Rudra, and Marut. Now, Varun is the deity which, in later part, got associated with the ocean and the waters. Okay, because Varun is a, after Indra, if there is any major deity within Rigved, it is Varun, and there are various aspects associated with Varun. As we go ahead with the presentation, some of the points will get highlighted again. But particularly over here, the aspect of getting associated with water bodies and associated specifically with ocean, because all the rivers open or enter into Varun. So Varun signifies ocean. He has the control over water. And that's why these cyclones are also associated with Varun. Rudra, because of the storm, this nature of storm. Rudra and Maruts. Now, Maruts, Rudra is father for Maruts, and both of them have that thundering effect. And Rudra is kind of a he can be considered as having a scary nature because the name itself denotes the one who cried or the one who made others cry. So this storm is represented by Rudra, or that is the Raudra effect of the storm itself. So Varun, Rudra, and Marut, these deities, these Vedic deities, are associated with the cyclones, and we could experience uh, that fierce nature, or some of the things that like thundering of clouds and wind, because there is explanation within Rigved where they say that the sound of wind, okay, the sound, so this kind of a wind sound that we hear, those are the words of Varun. So these things we actually experience around us happening during this natural phenomena. So Varun, Rudra, and Marut. If you have experienced these cyclones, then you have experienced Varun, Rudra, and Marut around you. 5th July 2020, there was an earthquake near Kargil. This is another earthquake that happened in Jan 2021, and one another earthquake was experienced just 2 days back. So we do not find a reference of earthquake exactly in Rigved. Uh, there is no such uh, explanation or mentioning directly. Of course, I mean, this is, and which are the deities which can be connected with this phenomena? Those are Varun, Rudra, and Indra. Again, Varun, why? Previously, we said it is associated with water bodies. Now, here Varun is associated because Varun is concerned with the regularity of the cosmic cycle, or with Rita. Whatever we see in this universe, which is following the cosmic cycle, for example, there is a sunrise, sunset, everything, seasonal changes. So everything happening as it is supposed to happen is because of Varun. Okay, Rita is because of Varun. So now, how Earth should be, even that should be the responsibility of Varun. That is, everything is in his control. If sun is being seen in sky, it is because of Varun. Varun has kept fire in ocean. Varun has kept sun in sky, and Varun has kept Soma on mountain. So everything, wherever is it is located, however it is functioning, that is because of Varun. So if something is happening with the normal status of these entities, that is also associated with Lord Varun. Second, Rudra, again, because of that fierce nature, because he's the deity who can make others cry, that is the Rudra root. And specifically, Indra is mentioned over here because uh, during Indra's birth, it is being mentioned that there was trembling of earth. Everything started moving because Indra is so strong that the nature itself was scared that Indra is taking birth, and there was trembling of earth. And it is mentioned that he balanced everything. He uh, made it sure that everything is normalized. Okay, because he is the chosen one, he is the great Vedic hero. Also, he is the one who previously mountains used to fly in air, right? And he stabilized these mountains on earth by cutting their wings. So these are some of the things associated with Indra, which mention about how he has stabilized earth and how there was trembling of earth when Indra was taking birth. So he is also having that influence, or his strength has that reflection, which can be considered, can be associated, correlated with the phenomena of earthquake. Now, this is One more huge incident, the flood in Assam. And this is a big news. So many people got affected, so many people died in this accident. But if you remember, many of us did not receive the information about this incident as it should have been through media. This is a news from 1st July 2020. Now let us understand about flood, because flood is also one of the phenomena that we experience from time and again in different parts of our country. Now, these floods are called as apada, and we have a water deity in Vedic uh, literature called as Apa. Okay, and this Apa or Apa is directly being used when we talk about apada. Yes, apada term is then loosely also used for all the natural calamities, but specifically, if you ask many of the regional people, for example, there was this great flood in Uttarakhand. I have talked with the people, the local regional people over there. And according to them, apada is the natural calamity associated only with floods. That is the natural belief. And apa, even they mention apa means God, is a deity. So it is the river god, and whenever river god gets angry, then it comes to our villages, and that is apada. This is what the local belief in Uttarakhand is. So here we directly see this term apa being used as up. Which are the other deities? Now, rivers are, of course, worshipped in Rigveda, and some of the important rivers like Sindhu and Saraswati have great significance in Vedic literature. In later parts, we also see the significance given to Ganges or Ganga. And slow by slow, as we come to Puranic literature, we see many rivers being worshipped as deities. So yes, of course, rivers. Instead of considering any particular river as such, uh, like Brahmaputra or anything like that, we'll just generally consider over here that rivers are considered as divine in Indian context, and these rivers meet Samudra. So Samudra is husband for all these rivers, and of course, again, as we had mentioned, Varuna is the deity of waters and the deity of ocean, specifically ocean. So all these deities can be seen associated with the phenomena of flood. If you see the stories of these floods, even the floods that happen in UP or Bihar, uh, there are many places where floods keep on happening each year or alternate years. But interesting thing I observed is that people do not blame the river for the floods. Because a flood is happening because of a river, then don't you think it would be justified if people start blaming the river or considering that river is evil in nature, she is taking the lives? But many places I have seen that people consider that there might have been some mistake on part of people which might have caused this kind of punishment. People believe that there might have been some mistake on part of the people which might have reflected in this kind of punishment. Okay, so even in Uttarakhand, I have many friends within Uttarakhand, and they have as per the change in the region, they have different beliefs within themselves. Some of the folk stories associated with their experience, and they are very serious about it when they narrate these stories. They are very serious about these stories, that this is the reason, तो उस गांव वालों ने ये गलत किया, There was some temple, they were not supposed to lift that idol, but they did, and that's how it resulted in the punishment in the form of flood. So that is something very interesting, very peculiar, that you do not blame the river, but you blame yourself or your community for some of the mistakes which you might have done, your people might have done, which might have reflected in punishment in form of floods. Now that is something also again gets associated with Varun, because as Varun is taking care of Rita of the cosmic cycle, Varun is also looking after the moral behavior of the people. Okay, he is looking at our actions, and if our actions, if we fail to follow the morals, the ethical behavior, then Varun will punish us. Okay, and he sun is the eye for Varun, because sun can look all over the world, and he gets to know about all the people from sun. At the same time, sun is also its hidden weapon, Varun's hidden weapon. So when we talk about prayashchitta, or this punishment happening because of uh, some of the wrongdoing, there comes the role of Varun. Now, here I'm not talking particularly about the incidents in Assam. I'm talking about floods and these beliefs associated in Indian population. So we see Apa, river, river goddesses, Samudra, and Varun, which are from Vedic literature associated with these incidences. Now, moving ahead, we saw that during COVID-19. Yes, before starting, let me just mention over here, because I have talked about Varun and his association with Rita and his association with moral behavior of people. COVID-19, as per the current scenario, nobody knows where it had actually originated. There are some of the research institutes within US who have stated that perhaps COVID-19 strain existed in US even before it came from China. So that is one of the reference given by one of the research institute. We are not going to go into details of that, but let us consider the fact that nobody yet knows uh, the origin exactly. Nobody knows if it has got naturally created or artificially created, purposefully created. But there is one belief that people have. Okay, when we are talking about mythology, theology, belief is an important perspective. It is proved or not, that is a later part, but belief of human population plays a vital role. And people do believe that something wrong might have happened on our part, on part of people. Somewhere we have disturbed nature, and that's why this is kind of a punishment. And after COVID-19, after lockdown, the environment, climate got benefited. Was it good, bad? No, we are again not going into that discussion, because we have lost many people during this pandemic. So we can never say that this was a good thing. But some of the positive outputs on environment were also being observed, and does this belief emerge within people that this COVID-19 was kind of a wake up call for humanity to take care of environment and to stay within the limits. Some of the actions that we might have done are coming back to us in form of a punishment, and this was one of the disease. Or even eating bats, eating these animals, different kind of exotic animals, might also be a wrong thing, and this is perhaps punishment for that. So this is a belief, and again this gets associated with the moral behavior, ethical behavior, and thus the punishment is given by Varun. And specifically in Rigved we find a reference where it is mentioned that uh, Varun punishes people, humans, with diseases. If we do not worship Varun, and if we do not follow the morals, the ethical behavior, then Varun punishes us with diseases. Okay, we have associated him with, now over here we have associated him with floods because of water connection and also because of being moral police. But his punishment that he gives, being moral police, is specifically mentioned as diseases. That is the way he punishes. Now this is, we are going into a new topic now. So during COVID-19 or during the lockdown, many people lost their jobs. Many people, their salaries were deducted and so on. So many people had to face financial constraints. But at the same time, many billionaires multiplied their wealth. Their wealth got multiplied. So rich became richer. Okay. Now moving ahead. Now this is the interesting part. So the poor people don't have wealth. The middle class don't have wealth. They're insecure about their jobs. Many have lost the jobs and so on. Only rich and super rich people. We have seen even rich people, uh, the people whom we consider rich, going through very lot of insecurities, a lot of cases of depression, suicides, and so on. So super rich people multiplied their wealth. Government also do not have wealth. Government is saying again and again that they do not have money. They cannot continue with the financial burdens, and so they need help of private sector. All of us need help of these multi-billionaires. Okay, because there is no wealth anywhere else. Only they have the wealth. So we need their help for our jobs. Let it be private jobs, right? If we want the salaries, we will hope that our companies, our organizations are even overtaken by these giants. We hope that these giants also invest in government sector so that government gets a boost and so on. So this concept of everything getting accumulated at one place, okay, this is being mentioned in the Rigved. So I want to put it forward positively, and but before putting out positively, let me put out a negative aspect also. So in case of Indra, there is this famous demon called Ritra, and Ritra, the word itself, ru, this shows covering, encompassing, or collecting. So he has held all the waters within himself. So it is a serpent. Okay, Ritra is a serpent. Later, in literature or translations, he is mentioned as dragon. He has collected all the waters, and when Indra kills him, all the waters are released. So, in terms of motifs, Ritra can also be considered as the clouds. Now, this was a negative aspect. Everything is being collected, and then he was demonized and killed. This is a negative aspect. There is also a positive aspect called Ahi Budhnya. Okay, so Ahi shows serpent. It is also a serpent, and it has collected the waters within himself, just like Ritra. But it is a god. It is a Vedic deity. We worship this deity that please give us the rain. Please help us. So these giants somewhere have become ahi budhna for us. We are now worshipping that. Please help us. Please, take uh, take our organizations. Please sponsor our projects. Please boost our economy. Please be part of the government sector as well. So this is the deity called ahi budhna. Moving ahead. Okay, so now these people are, we are very familiar with them. Yes, ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. Yes, Punawala, Adar Punawala, and our very own Ramdev Babaji. So what happened during this pandemic? During this pandemic, we actually had no clear idea about what the infection is, how to prevent it, how to treat it. We are still exploring, right? So many guidelines were given by WHO. Then many guidelines as per what WHO is saying. Even ICMR created their own guidelines for India. And along with time, these guidelines were being improvised. Sometimes these guidelines we see they are shuffling, rules are being changed also. Okay, so you should use mask. Then there there came a guideline saying that you should not use mask while running or such activities. Then came a guideline saying you should use double mask, you should use sanitizers. Then came an update saying that we should not use sanitizers excessively or many times. Then came guideline we should uh, try to use soap. Even for medicines, uh, Trump was going to he took a lot of medicines, anti-malarial medicines from India, considering that they will be helpful in treatment of COVID-19. But then the WHO said it won't be, that won't be beneficial. Rather, it has more side effects also. So these guidelines have kept on changing again and again. So WHO has been trying to create their guidelines, help everyone. All the countries have their own systems trying to figure out the guidelines, what can be suggested. There are different companies, organizations, research institutes which are collaborating and trying to find out a vaccine. Now we have the vaccines, and we are still trying to see the results as we are going ahead with it. And there are also people like Ramdev Baba who are trying to come ahead with innovative research in from perspective of herbs. In China, we also see that traditional Chinese medicine has been used in treatment of COVID-19. If we see, many people, many people used Ayurvedic medicine on a large scale, because if you don't know what you can take as a prevention, something is better than nothing. That's what many people even told me. Something is better than nothing. So if something is available in Ayurveda, let's have it. Okay, so many people followed Ayurveda treatment also. So whatever solutions you are giving, people were looking out for the solutions. In Vedic literature, we see the main physicians as Ashwini Kumar, and Indra is not being shown performing treatments or surgeries, but Indra is a deity who had the knowledge of Ayurveda. Okay, now here Ayurveda, when we're talking about Vedic literature, we should not consider Ayurveda specifically as something, Ayurveda, allopathy, homeopathy. No, Ayurveda is science of life, healthcare science of that time period. That's it. Okay, a mainstream healthcare system. That's it. We should not try to go into depth because allopathy and all these things did not exist at that time period. Ayurveda means healthcare system. So Indra had the knowledge of this healthcare, and he is the one who is believed to have passed on this wisdom to humans. So Ashwini Kumar, of course, there's a huge list in Rigved saying how many diseases they have treated, how many surgeries they have conducted, and so on. So these were I would consider in context with India 2020 that these were the mainstream physicians or mainstream uh, healthcare system. Okay, Ashwini Kumars were performing all these things. Indra had that wisdom, and apart from them, Rudra and Maruts, they are specifically mentioned to have the knowledge of the herbs. Okay, they have specifically, apart from, of course, Ashwini Kumar would also have it, but Rudra and Maruts have the knowledge of herbs. Oldenburg mentions that Rudra might be a deity associated with mountains and forest, a deity away from civilization, and thus knowing the things which civilization does not know. Okay, so that kind of a relation, that mainstream and alternative, that can be somewhere seen related over here. Now we also saw in between the pandemic, we also saw this tension between India and China, and it reminds me of a story of gods and Pani. So all the gods were worried because their cows were taken away. Okay, and they did not have, they could not have any idea where the cows went. People were searching for these cows, and they went to Indra. Please help us. So he said, let us first identify uh, who have taken these cows, where they have taken these cows. So he orders his eagle, go and find. So eagle goes. I think they have mentioned Saryu Nadi. I think Saryu Nadi is crossed, and eagle goes. He sees that Panis. So Pani is a community. Panis have taken away the cows. So Pani see eagle coming. They identify it as Indra's eagle, and they bribe him with milk and all the good things, and say that you return back to Indra and tell him that you have not found the location of the cows. So eagle returned back and he says, I could not find it. He does not mention. Then Indra sends Sarma, his dog, a female dog, to be very specific. Sarma again goes on the same track and finds the cows. Panis also try to bribe Sarma, but Sarma is not bribed. She comes back and tells Indra the exact location and which people have abducted those cows. And does accordingly, Indra fights along with all the deities and frees the cows. Now, cows, this motif of cows can be used for clouds, clouds from which we get rain, can be used for wealth. Of course, the cattle is wealth, even the rains are equivalent to wealth, and cows also signify earth. So, the land acquisition, who has acquired the land, the tension between India and China that we are seeing recently since 2020, there is a claim. China claims that India has acquired China's land. India says that China has acquired India's land, and this dispute is continually going on. There is also difference of opinion within India itself. People say that Indian land has been acquired by China, and that is not being accepted by the current government. So we don't know what is the fact. And that takes us to the important discussion. So this story was not just to find the difference between gods and panis, but this is to show the difference between the eagle and Sarma. Okay, so I'm not commenting who is who. This is just image and words. But whom to believe? Okay, previously we used to entirely depend on media to know the facts. Remember the days when people within villages used to depend on radios to get what is happening in the country. But now we do not know if what we are hearing or seeing is the truth. So the question is, who is Sarma and who is the eagle? Okay, and that confusion, that bribing, or that misinformation can be seen even today. Soma. Now, Soma is worshipped as a deity, and Soma is can be Soma is the plant extract which gives power, which gives strength to Indra, and it is also compared with nectar. Nectar is explained to a huge length in Puranic literature, but in Vedic, Soma is very important, and Soma uh, itself, is worshipped as a Vedic deity. Now the question is, so Indra wanted Soma. He always wanted Soma. He is. There are references where he is enjoying Soma with Agni, Vata, and if I'm not wrong, Vishnu. Okay, Agni, Vata, and perhaps Vishnu. So there are these few people who had this, liberty or high prestige of enjoying Soma with Indra. Tuastur had this Soma, and Trita Apta had the this talent of extracting Soma also. So these are some of the things associated with Soma. And whenever Indra used to consume Soma, he used to get the great strength, and then he used to fight in battles. Due to overconsumption of Soma, he got diseased also. Okay, so excessive consumption, and then he was treated by the other gods. Now the question is, during COVID-19 and during lockdown, you might have thought, what is the most important thing for you? Which urges you get? I want this. I want, I want, I want to buy something. I want to eat something. If I'll eat this, I'll feel good. If I'll get this, I'll feel good. I want this technology. I want these clothes. We were at home. We were under lockdown. Still, we wanted something. If we get that, we will be happy. It will boost up our spirits, right? If I directly connect it with alcohol, we know what a craze there was for alcohol because alcohol was not available, and that's why state governments allowed the sale of alcohol. So that is also a thing. But here I'm not just connecting it with alcohol, I'm connecting it with all the things of which we had urges. It can be something we wanted to eat, it could have been something we wanted to buy, a piece of technology or anything like that. And the important factor I want to mention over here is the people who made it available. In Vedic literature, as I have mentioned previously, Varun kept Agni in water, right? Sun in sky, and Soma on mountain. So Matarishwan is mentioned to have brought Agni to humans. An eagle is mentioned to have brought Soma to the gods or from the mountains. Okay, Soma was carried from mountains by eagle. Okay, so who was the eagle during this time? The Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy, Zomato. Yes, we could not go out, but we got what we wanted at our doorstep. So this is very important. This motif of eagle bringing soma that we can see in Indian context by these people who worked so hard to make things available for us. Now, bull. If you remember in Vedic literature, bull uh, signifies an important deity. Indra is mentioned as bull, Agni is mentioned as bull, Vishnu is mentioned as bull because bull represents strength. Bull shows virility. Okay, so bull was a motif used to explain these gods. Even today, bull is a major deity. We all worship bull. Can you think about it? Can you think in which way I'm pointing at? The economy has collapsed. GDP has lowered. People lost job. Salaries were deducted. People don't know what to do next. The small businesses, uh, their backbone is broken, so nobody knows. Even business people don't know where they should invest. But there is only one place within India which is rejoicing for growth, for profit making. Do you know what it is? It is a stock exchange. And here comes the bull. Everybody wants the bull. Everybody wants to control the bull. See, everybody wants to pick with these celebrities, but these celebrities want to pick with the bull. So, how important this bull is? This is today's god. How many people are investing in National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange today? If you know, the number of demat accounts which were there in India till lockdown have doubled, exactly doubled, 100% growth within the demat accounts, within the number of investors. So there is only one positive light, right? Perhaps that is in the stock exchange, that is being seen in stock exchange. And all these celebrities want to, yes, control the bull. Yes, he comes even foreign people, not just in India, but even coming to the state, the government officials coming from other countries, they also want to control the bull. He's from Israel embassy. I hope you know he's the UK Prime Minister. Okay, so Yogi ji also, though he is Yogi, he also wants to control the bull. And this is a very significant image. See, he is touching the feet. He's not trying to control the bull. He's not a celebrity. He's a normal human, normal person like you and me, and he is touching feet of the bull. So tell me, isn't it a deity for today's age? Because we are not looking if a particular motif is deified to that extent. We are looking from the perspective of beliefs people have. Usko worship kare ya na kare, that is not important, but within the belief, if that motif has a strength or not. Yes, it has. And everybody wants to bull, right? Because if you go into the stock exchange terminologies, there's a bull and there's bear. But bear brings the market down. Nobody is worshipping bear. We do not, unfortunately, we do not have much symbolism associated with bear in mythology, Indian mythology perspective. But nobody is worshipping bear. Everybody wants the bull because everybody wants the market to be up. And there are more symbolisms in aspect of stock exchange, like what is a trend. Okay, so what is a trend? Accordingly, person has to invest. So trend is also uh, converted as into a form of an individual to understand the trend. Now farmers, we see the farmer protest going on in today's age in India. These are the strong factors, strong event happening in India today, and that is having a big impact sociologically as well as politically. So that is very important from Indian context, because Indian mythology or Vedic mythology, we see the reflection of the beliefs of agriculture and pastoral societies. So their beliefs can be seen in Vedic mythology, and even today, our sociology or our politics is derived because of the agriculture and pastoral people. And that's why Indra, I feel Indra, though associated with rains, Indra is also a king. So I think because this connection between the farmers and the political power might be somehow reflected over there. During floods, I might have missed one point. During floods in Assam, we have seen animals going to different areas. Okay, and during pandemic, sadly, we saw many people going towards their native places. They did not have proper transport facilities, but whatever means they could get, they traveled back home. These are not something, some incidences to be deified of. These are these things, these incidences are very shameful for us to acknowledge. This shouldn't have happened. But these incidences where animals or people are trying to find their own way back home reminds us of Pushana deity in Vedic literature. Pushana is the deity, he's a charioteer of Surya, and he knows all the paths. And that's why uh, whenever we are lost on the path, Pushan is the one who guides us right in a way. Even the cattle who goes out of our houses in the daytime, people used to worship Pushana so that the cattle should come on a right path back home. So these are some of the Vedic deities which are relevant even today. Uh, I hope I have tried to cover as many points as possible, but of course, there might be some of the things which I might have missed. So please feel free to add in. And now, after this, since we have completed the presentation, we will continue with the discussion. Thank you.